So recently I acquired one of these, a Spirit Sceptre, and we are going to compare it to its little brother, the Dreadlord Sword. Hi, hello, and welcome back to another Skyblock video. My name is Osauce, and today we are going to be talking about the two mage AoE weapons. The way bigger one is, of course, the Spirit Sceptre, and the little brother is the Dreadlord Sword. Hey, you. Yes, you over there. If this video helped you in any way and you want to make me happy, I highly recommend subscribing and or liking the video. If you have any questions about the video or any comments, comment them down in the comment section. And if you want to talk to me, you can find me on my Discord. Link is in the description. That's all. Back to the video. Some people might think that the Bonzo staff is a little brother of the Spirit Sceptre, but I don't think so. The little brother is actually the Dreadlord Sword because the Spirit Sceptre and the Dreadlord Sword both do like big AoE damage. The Bonzo staff does a little bit of AoE, but definitely not as much as the Dreadlord Sword or Spirit Sceptre. The Bonzo staff is just a good, different type of mage weapon. Now we're going to talk about the requirements for each item. First off, Dreadlord Sword. So there really isn't any floor requirements for the Dreadlord Sword because it's not actually boss loot, and I'm pretty sure there is Catacombs level 2 requirement for the Dreadlord Sword, but I'm not super sure about that. All I know is that it's low, and I started using this thing as an early game mage weapon pretty early on. It does 170 damage, has 234 strength, 109 crit damage, a little bit of attack speed, and 500 intelligence. The item ability is Dreadlord, and it shoots a skull that deals 1,420 damage. The Spirit Sceptre, on the other hand, does 400 damage as opposed to the Dreadlord's about 200, to the Dreadlord Sword's 234, has 131 crit damage as opposed to the 109 crit damage of the Dreadlord Sword, has 10 attack speed as opposed to the 5% from the Dreadlord Sword, has 930 intelligence as opposed to the 500 intelligence of the Dreadlord Sword, and the ability is Guided Bat, and it shoots a guided spirit bat, and it tracks your aim and exploding for about 3 times as much. And the mana cost is 125, which is about 3 times as much. Now, some of you might be saying, no, but you have Ultimate Wise on it. It's actually 250. If you don't have Ultimate Wise on your Spirit Sceptre, your mana is going to run out so fast that you won't be able to use it at all. So I'm going to assume, just as a base weapon, that it's gonna have Ultimate Wise on it, even though that's an enchantment and it's not actually the base weapon. Now that does move the cost up by 4 mil coins, so we're just gonna say that it costs 22 million coins for the base item, because the lowest bin right now is like, I think, 18 or 19 million. Next up, we are going to compare what the prices are. The lowest bin that actually has Ultimate Wise on it is this one for 24 million coins. However, mine is a lot more maxed out than that. It's mythic and it's 5-starred. So an item like mine will probably cost more, like, here we go, 29 mil. So 30 million coins. So this weapon costs just about 30 million coins. It's less if you don't have recombobulated or 5 stars. And the Dreadlord Sword, looks like the first 5-starred one is 200k coins. However, it is really easy to star up the Dreadlord Sword. So Dreadlord Sword, it only costs like 65k coins. Spirit Sceptre costs like 30 million coins when maxed out. So that's to be expected. I mean, the Spirit Sceptre is a much better weapon than the Dreadlord Sword. Let's look at the mana. The Spirit Sceptre costs 125 mana, and the Dreadlord Sword costs 40 mana. So, more mana, more damage. Now, let's compare the damage. I'm not here to see exactly how much damage it would do if you were in dungeons, because if you were in dungeons, these two weapons would do a lot more damage. If we were to go to just a Crypt Ghoul, and we test out the Dreadlord Sword. 6,400 damage, and if we were to test it on with the Spirit Sceptre, 18,000 damage. So far, everything is proportional. 125 mana for 3 times the damage, and 3 times the mana for 3 times the damage. So I guess if you could just spam the Dreadlord Sword as fast as you wanted to, which you can't, then the Spirit Sceptre would be irrelevant, but that is not the case, and so the Spirit Sceptre reigns supreme. It also looks like the Spirit Sceptre has a bigger range of AoE. So I'm gonna kill that Crypt Ghoul by firing all the way over here. But if I were to fire right here, it only kills 1. So Spirit Sceptre has bigger AoE. And now, to sum it all up, we are going to give a pros and cons list for the Spirit Sceptre. The pros are that it does 3 times the damage, and it has a much bigger AoE radius. And the cons are that it costs 30 million coins, and it requires much more mana. For the Dreadlord Sword, it's pretty much the opposite. The pros is that it only costs like 65k coins, and it costs only 40 mana, so you can pretty much spam this infinitely. And the cons are that it doesn't do as much damage, and it doesn't have as big of an AoE radius. So which one do I use? Well, I actually use both, and here's why. So let's say that this zombie villager is actually a zombie knight. And then you're like, I need to kill him. So you have to fire all your stuff. And then you're like, oh no, I've ran out of mana. What can I do? And that reinforced super tank zombie is still coming after you, but you don't have any mana. So then what you do is switch to the Dreadlord Sword, and then use the Dreadlord Sword. And in dungeons, with your right click, so you'll just get a little bit more regen. So in my opinion, if you have the Spirit Sceptre, you should also just have a Dreadlord Sword lying around for those times when you run out of mana, because you've been spamming a Frozen Adventurer for like 30 seconds, and you still need to do some damage. And that's pretty much going to wrap it up for today's video. If you like this kind of analytical approach to Skyblock, I do a lot of stuff like this, so you can check out my channel if you want to. And with that out of the way, I have nothing more to say. See ya!